Son, you wouldn't believe her if she told you.
How we doing on time, Dave?
2:35.
It's 2:35. Can I take you just a couple more minutes?
Take till 4 o'clock.
Okay. That morning after I found that, we were leaving that morning, and I gathered up a few things that I had for gifts, and I walked down the road to do some more talking. Doing stuff that I meant to do up on the top, which we never made it up there. So I hiked down there. I hiked about 200 yards up as far as I could go into the mountain, completely forested around me. I stood up on a rock and I did some of the old songs, some of the old prayers. I left some of the gifts, and I said things like, these are for you, for your children, for your woman, for your old man, whatever, you know. And that's when I heard the concession snarl. I heard it twice, very loudly and clearly off, and it was actually between me and the horse camp where the others were. So, you know, your mind goes, in the first place, could Ron have done that? No. Could the girls have done? No. It was, I'm really hearing what I'm hearing, right? And I accepted, by that time I got to where I could accept it as a gift. And I came down. In the meantime, Rhonda had taken a hike out towards the river, which is down from the camp. And she'd seen one walk down toward the river, just very quick out of the corner of her eye. She thought she saw a very large man walk down there. So she came back and had that sort of tale. Same time, Wendy, his granddaughter, had hiked sort of in the same direction and said, and this has all happened while I was down there up on the mountain talking, said she saw a gigantic white wolf running from the river up to, and she said she's watched it all run all the way across the road and start to go up the mountain. She said it was a gigantic, it was pure white, and it looked just like a wolf. That was her story. She could have said that she'd seen a Sasquatch. But she did. Let me just try to find a couple. That was 2009. 2010, 2011. Just going to give you some of the most interesting things. It's going to take another hour to go through all of it. This I took up there, both of the other years, okay? And I did it because of the tradition of Native drumming, Native American drumming, and the stories that the Sasquatch being was always interested and curious. So I took things up there on the mountain that I thought would create curiosity. So I would do this up there, right? Never got any response from anything, but the very next morning, Ron and I wake up and we're getting our coffee ready, and we hear this. Steven's there getting ready. We hear this coming from one spot in the forest. Well, it didn't have the drum sound. It sounded more like tapping on a log. It wasn't a classic wood knock. It was like, you'd hear that. And then from completely the other side of the camp, and then from a third direction to the south of the camp. So that all three of them put together, we sometime later realized that they were mimicking, the three of them were mimicking the sound of the Irish drum here. All together, we put them all together. What is that to Ron? It was a woodpecker. Right? It's not a woodpecker. Then that was later. The first thing happened, we were not in camp, but less than 5 minutes. We had just dropped me and Stephen and Ron had dropped our packs off that first morning. That first evening. Because it takes all day to get up there. We're very tired, and we're all sitting there really resting for the first time, and directly west toward the sunset, we hear this. Just like that. What the hell was that? It was a cowbell. What the hell is a cowbell? That's not a cowbell, it's a cowbell. No way. Stephen, my son, it was a cowbell. So while me and Ron are arguing over, I said, he says, yeah, there are cows up here that have cowbells. I said, what are you talking about? There's no way a cow can get up here. He says, yeah, we used to hear cowbells all the time. I said, did you ever see the cows? He says, no. He said, we did see one cow. I said, we did see a cow up here. I said, you saw one cow. When? That was 1974. I said, Ron, that was not a freaking cow. And no sooner did I get that argument out of my mouth than completely on the other side. This was about 50 yards in one direction. 50 yards to the east in the other direction. And maybe 4 minutes had passed. The exact same sound. And we jumped up again. I said, oh my God, there's no way. Are you going to tell me that was a cow too? He said, well, it could have been a cow. I said, Ron, a cow's going to run from 100 yards in 3 minutes with a cowbell on it and not make another sound until he gets clear over there. He said, it wasn't a freaking cow. And my son, by that time, he was 13, and I said, no, I don't think it was a cow either. So, I think they can mimic, here I'm throwing a conclusion out there, I think they can mimic even metallic type sounds. Anyway, I could go on, but we won't do that yet. Okay, if you guys are interested in later on, and if you want to catch me later, I can throw some of these other weird things at you. Some of the things that happened with Ron, even this year, and we can do that. And again, we will all be up here later on for a question and answer, right? So, let's do that. Sorry that it's so dark. Anyway, thank you guys.